out of the business, you know, poolside in Sardinia or something like that. It's I can imagine doing that, and it's very nice, and I do that, but it's on a day-to-day basis, it's you know, I'd feel too detached. I need to be involved. So.
Kurt's the heartbeat and the DNA of the business and our brands that informs almost everything that we do.
Kurt, he's a bit of a freak of nature. He's a bit of an inspiration.
He's the man of the senses. He has probably the strongest passion for coffee and delivering good quality out of anyone I've met.
The flavour experience from coffee, inspiration, it's once again, it's constant and ongoing, because, you know, I like to, as you get older, apparently you lose that receptiveness to taste and flavour and all sorts of things. You shut down a little bit, but I like to feel like I'm not. With coffee, it quite often conjures up both past, present, and potentially future kind of imagery in my head, and it's can be tropical. It can be, you know, the kind of the rainforest environment. It's kind of like the agricultural. There's all those flavors, those smells and aromas from everything that's part of being so in depth with the process of roasting it.
Kurt, he's like a father in the company, probably the best employer I've ever had or will ever have.
Kurt's the guy that like always smiles, and he's got 2 kids, and he runs a business, and he's got a missus, and he's always happy. I don't know how the fuck he does it.
He gets in at 6 in the morning, 6, 7, turns on the roaster and gets the day going before I come in, and then he will come and he'll make me a coffee, give me a big hug, and it's very pleasant.
What I do on a day-to-day basis comes from memory. It's like muscle memory, it's kind of flavor memory. So quite often I will stop and recognize an aroma, and it'll trigger something, and I'll think, oh, this puts me back to that time. I was born in New Zealand in a rural town on the east coast of the North Island, and grew up essentially on a horticultural kind of block. My father and mother worked on a developing farmland into horticultural land, and that's sort of in essence the beginning of my kind of food flavour journey, I guess. I worked as a chef, amongst other things. Also worked in kind of market gardens, harvesting grapes in vineyards, and then tomatoes, aubergines, stuff like that. So always kind of with a hands-on food touch, and so always experimenting, always trying to track down that coffee to maintain that ritual of having a coffee bean in my life that I could grind on a Sunday morning. Arriving in the UK in 1994, and I took up a chefing position, and I never intended to stay in the UK for very long. It was only for 6 weeks, couple of months, and 25 years nearly later, still here.
The biggest aspect of Kurt's personality that has really driven Volcano forward is he's never lost his childlike curiosity.
He's had so many incredible accidents. It's a miracle he's alive. He's like an android man. I think he's got a few parts of his body replaced with metal.
In his spare time, he has licenses for upwards of 15 different automobiles, motorbikes, boats, and you name it. If it's machinery, Kurt loves it.
So as far as I know, he's broken his neck at least twice.
No, there was one point he had an accident where his whole body got bent in half the wrong way.
I don't think I've ever seen him completely injury-free.
I was involved in a motor scooter accident and got taken out by a drunk driver in Borough High Street. And it looked like potentially I wouldn't be able to stand or walk again even. And so it was meant I'd have to have a serious rethink about what it was I intended to do. As I was convalescing still, approached a small coffee roastery in Portobello Market and took on a position of assisting roasting and roast training. From that, it allowed me to experiment further and develop a real kind of understanding of the science behind coffee roasting. I registered a business, Full Steam Espresso Limited, in about 2006, I believe. I took on 2 business partners that were friends of mine that had been interested in and could see the trajectory that specialty coffee was about to take. Rebranded as Volcano Coffee Works and started to build the brand that we have here today.
I think what's special about Volcano is multifaceted. It's not just about how we source our coffee, it's more about how we make our coffee accessible to the broader community.
Volcano is unique because it has multiple business divisions as well. We've got a company called Assembly, which me and my colleague Michael kicked off under the umbrella of Volcano Coffee Works, which essentially is just another coffee roastery that serves a different type of audience.
And one of the things I've always enjoyed about Volcano is the culture and the people that are behind it. It's definitely one of the strong points that we have going for us. We're all very like-minded. We all have a background in the industry in some shape or form and an idea of how we want to sort of help shape the future of specialty coffee within the UK.
If I wanted to have a cup of specialty coffee, I needed to make an effort and go out of my usual route and go 2 miles somewhere to the specific shop. Now it's on every single corner. It's so easy to find, you know, you have an area and there's going to be at least 1 or 2 specialty coffee shops. In these 2 years, Londoners got the reference for specialty coffee, so now they expect to have a delicious cup of coffee at the end of the meal. And so if you're gonna have 10 courses dinner and in the very end you can have a really bad burned espresso, you're gonna ruin the experience because the expectations are higher because there's more and more specialty coffee around.
Historically in the UK, specialty coffee's had a stigma of being more sophisticated for the average UK coffee drinker. And at Volcano, what we're trying to do is challenge that stigma and make it more accessible to the everyday consumer.
My dream, I think hopefully in a couple of years, if not 10 or 15 years, that the big chains will be using expensive, good quality specialty coffee. People will be educating and understanding what it is and why they're paying more for it.
Coffee mainly is consumed for one reason, which is either habit or just caffeine, as a vessel for caffeine. so that I get a lot of kick out of the challenge that is convincing a broader audience that coffee is like this unique product that deserves to be, you know, that deserves a higher price point because of all of the hidden value behind it.
That journey's only just begun, so I think there's still a lot of years left in making coffee better. It's like anything though, it's art, music, it's about making it better, different. It's always evolving and changing, and this is a natural product, so it's an ongoing project.